The launch was supposed to be routine. A new athlete collection, a modest sales target, and the usual burst of social media excitement. But when Alex's first-ever signature Nike collection finally dropped, something extraordinary happened that no one, not the brand executives, retail analysts, or even the Filipina tennis star herself could have predicted. Within just 30 seconds, the website crashed under overwhelming demand. Every item in the collection sold out in less than 4 hours, leaving thousands of fans stunned. Across the globe, Filipino supporters stayed awake long past midnight, refreshing their screens repeatedly and hoping the website would load before the collection disappeared. The frenzy quickly became one of the most talked about sports merchandise launches in recent memory. Yet, the biggest surprise was still to come. The following morning, while Alex Eala was staying at a hotel in London, a special delivery arrived at her door. Inside was a luxury gift from Nike, personalized, deeply emotional, and far more meaningful than any sales number or commercial success. The gesture immediately sparked curiosity among fans and industry insiders alike. What exactly had Nike sent their Filipina superstar? And why were many already calling it the most meaningful gift of her career? The story began in Manila, Philippines in June 2026, the moment everything changed. At exactly 9 a.m., the countdown timer on Nike's website finally reached 0, marking the launch of a collection that would exceed every expectation and create a moment neither Nike nor Alex would ever forget. At 9:00 a.m. Mila time, Alex Eala's first-ever signature collection officially went live. Fans across the Philippines had been waiting for this moment for years. Ever since Nike's custom sample sparked a cultural movement, the small white blossom had become a powerful symbol of Filipino pride on the global stage. Nike's message resonated deeply with supporters. The sampita, delicate, radiant, resilient, is more than the Philippines' national flower. It is strength. It is belief. It is home. Now that story had evolved into something even bigger. Alexa finally had a collection of her own. The line featured everything fans had dreamed about. There was a tennis dress inspired by the colors of the Philippine flag, a warm-up jacket embroidered with sampita flowers along the sleeves, and a stylish cap with stitched boldly across the front. The centerpiece of the collection was a limited edition pair of Nike Court Air Zoom shoes. The left shoe featured the iconic Philippine sun, while the right carried Eala's signature, creating a design that celebrated both national pride and personal achievement. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Within just 30 seconds of the launch, the website crashed. Nike servers had been prepared for a surge in traffic, but not for the tsunami of demand that followed. Hundreds of thousands of fans attempted to access the site simultaneously. Supporters who had stayed awake past midnight, taken time off work, or set aside savings specifically for the collection refreshed their browsers over and over again, hoping for a chance to secure an item before it was gone. As the hours passed, the frenzy only intensified. By 1:00 p.m., that what had begun as a highly anticipated product launch had transformed into a historic moment, proving that Alex Eala's influence extended far beyond the tennis court and into the hearts of millions of fans around the world. By 1:00 p.m., everything was gone. The tennis dress had sold out. The warm-up jacket was gone. The caps, t-shirts, socks, headbands, and limited edition shoes had all disappeared from inventory. In just 4 hours, an entire collection had been wiped clean. What began as a highly anticipated launch had turned into a phenomenon. According to a Nike Philippines representative speaking to a local news outlet, the scale of demand was unlike anything they had witnessed before. "This is absolutely unprecedented," the representative said. "We've seen strong launches before: LeBron, Serena, Ronaldo, but this is different. This is a nation showing up." The ELA effect had been building steadily for years. At the Australian Open, Alexa had been featured in Nike's global promotional campaign alongside some of the biggest names in tennis, including Carlos Alcaraz and Aina Sabalenka. It was a clear indication that the company viewed her as one of the sport's future stars. At Nike's world headquarters in Oregon, her portraits lined the famous athlete tunnel, celebrating her remarkable journey from a 13-year-old academy student with big dreams to a top 30 player on the WTA Tour. But this moment was different. This was not about rankings, tournament victories, or television audiences. This was commerce. This was a direct measurement of cultural influence and consumer demand. And in a matter of hours, Alex Eala had demonstrated that her connection with fans extended far beyond the tennis court. The sellout collection was proof that she had become one of the most influential athletes in the world, capable of mobilizing an entire nation with a single product launch. As the sales figures continued to climb, Nike executives around the globe watched the numbers in disbelief. The demand had exceeded even the most optimistic projections, transforming what was expected to be a successful release into a historic event. The collection's extraordinary performance was not just a commercial victory. It was a powerful statement about Alex's growing global impact and the unwavering support of millions of Filipino fans worldwide. The launch had already exceeded every expectation, but the biggest surprise was still ahead. At Nike Philippines headquarters in Manila during June 2026, post-launch analysis was underway. Inside the boardroom, large screens displayed results that no one had anticipated. Red bars surged far beyond projected targets, while green indicators flashed sold out across every product category. Analysts who had prepared for a successful launch, but not a historic one, sat in stunned silence as they reviewed the numbers. While Nike and Alex Eala's team have kept the exact sales figures confidential, industry sources familiar with the launch revealed that the collection surpassed internal projections by more than 300%. The demand was so overwhelming that even Nike's global infrastructure struggled to keep up. Servers designed to handle a significant surge in traffic buckled under the pressure of hundreds of thousands of simultaneous connections. The ELA effect had done the unthinkable. It had effectively broken the internet. Yet, the most remarkable part of the story was not how quickly the collection sold out. It was who was buying it. Nike's internal analytics revealed a purchasing pattern unlike any previous athlete launch. Filipino consumers from around the world flooded the website. Orders poured in not only from Manila, Cebu, and Davao, but also from Los Angeles, San Francisco, Dubai, London, Singapore, and Tokyo. The global Filipino diaspora had shown up in force, demonstrating both their pride and purchasing power. The collection's success was years in the making. Its roots could be traced back to Wimbledon 2025, when Nike gifted Eala a custom samp. What seemed like a small gesture quickly evolved into a cultural phenomenon. The gift arrived in a woven presentation box inscribed with the Filipino proverb Kung May Idanim. May anahin what is sown will eventually be reaped. Accompanying the gift was a handwritten message from Nike that resonated deeply with fans. The sagwa delicate, radiant, resilient is more than the Philippines' national flower. It is strength. It is belief. It is home. The bloom has only just begun. Months later, appeared on the cover of Vogue Philippines wearing the Nike Bloom in full t-shirt created by Manila-based artist Georgina Camus. The design featured the sagwa flower blooming across a tennis court, symbolizing Eala's remarkable rise in the sport. The shirt was described as a tribute to her journey from promising junior player to global tennis star. In an Instagram post discussing the design, Camus wrote, "This custom tee is a symbol of discipline, courage, and full-circle growth designed to inspire the next generation to bloom in their own time." That be why the time the signature collection launched in 2026. The connection between Alex, Eala, Nike, and Filipino fans had become far more than a marketing campaign. It had evolved into a movement, one built on national pride, shared identity, and the belief that a young Filipino athlete could inspire millions around the world. The sold-out collection was not merely a commercial success. It was the culmination of a story that had been years in the making. With the full signature collection finally released, Nike had made a major bet on Alex Eala's cultural influence, and the gamble had paid off far beyond anyone's expectations. The launch shattered projections, generated unprecedented demand, and proved that Eala's connection with fans extended far beyond tennis. Yet, despite the extraordinary commercial success, the most memorable moment was still to come. London, England, June 2026. The morning after the launch, a knock at the hotel room door interrupted the quiet morning at 8 a.m. Alex Eala, still feeling the effects of a long practice session at Queen's Club the previous day, wrapped a robe around her shoulders and answered the door. Standing in the hallway was a private courier holding a sleek black box. There were no markings except for Nike's iconic swoosh embossed in silver across the lid. "Delivery for Miss Eala," the courier said. After signing for the package, she carried it to a small table beside the window. Her hands remained steady, but her heart was racing. Nike had sent her gifts before. The custom samp hair tie at Wimbledon had arrived in a woven presentation box inscribed with the Filipino proverb, Kung Mayanim, May Anahin, what is planted will eventually be harvested. The accompanying message had read, "The Sampuida delicate, radiant, resilient is more than the Philippines' national flower. It is strength. It is belief. It is home." But this package felt different. It was heavier, more substantial, more personal. Slowly, Ella lifted the lid. Inside, resting on a bed of velvet, was a custom-made gold necklace. Its pendant was shaped like a sampita flower crafted with extraordinary detail. Each petal appeared meticulously designed, reflecting the work of a master jeweler. The chain itself was elegant yet durable, the kind of piece meant to be worn every day rather than stored away for special occasions. Beneath the necklace lay a handwritten note on Nike letterhead. The handwriting was instantly familiar. It matched the note that had accompanied the Sagita hair tie a year earlier. History in full bloom. The message began. The bloom has only just begun. Tucked beneath the note was a smaller card referencing one of Ella's earlier social media posts in which she had described the sampita as the flower of my country, a reminder of where I come from and everything that brought me here. Below those words was a new message written specifically for her. You carry it with you in every move. You've planted the seeds. You've weathered the storms. Now it's time to bloom. Alex Eala stared silently at the necklace, then at the note, and then back at the necklace once more. Her hands began to tremble. In the span of a single day, she had watched her first signature collection sell out in a matter of hours. She had generated so much demand that Nike servers struggled to keep up. She had demonstrated that the ELA effect was not merely a marketing phenomenon. It was something far bigger. And yet at that moment, none of the sales figures, headlines, or records seemed to matter. What mattered was the message. It was a reminder of where she had started, how far she had come, and how much further her journey could still go. For all the commercial success surrounding the launch, this simple gold sample meaningful reward of all. The success of the collection had proven that the effect was far more than a marketing phenomenon. It was a movement. Yet, the gift Nike had sent was never really about sales figures, sold-out merchandise, or record-breaking demand. It was about something much deeper. It was about the 13-year-old girl who left home to pursue her dream at the Rafa Nadal Academy. It was about the young athlete who stepped onto Wimbledon center court wearing a sagwa hair tie, carrying the hopes of an entire nation with every swing of her racket. And it was about the young woman who had now become the highest-ranked Filipino tennis player in history. Throughout that journey, Nike had been there. From the custom portraits displayed at the company's headquarters in Oregon to high-profile collaborations, magazine covers, and global campaigns, the brand had celebrated each milestone alongside her. The necklace was a reminder that she was not walking this path alone. As she placed it around her neck, the Sagita pendant settled gently against her collarbone, cool to the touch and unexpectedly comforting. For a moment, she reflected on the message Nike had written a year earlier. A Filipina on the grass courts of history, not just playing for herself, but carrying a nation in full bloom. The nation was still watching. The journey was still unfolding. The bloom had only just begun. The connection between Alex, Eala, and Nike had never felt purely commercial. It had become something far more personal and authentic. The story began at Wimbledon in 2025 when Nike surprised Eala with a custom Sagita hair tie ahead of her center court debut. The gift arrived in a woven presentation box engraved with the Tagalog proverb, "Kung may ianim may anahin, what is sown will eventually be reaped." Accompanying the gift was a handwritten message that resonated deeply with both Eala and her fans. The samp delicate, radiant, resilient is more than the Philippines' national flower. It is strength. It is belief. It is home. When Eala wore the hair tie on center court, the image quickly became iconic. The contrast of the small white flower against her dark hair and the pristine grass of the All England Club created a powerful visual symbol of Filipino pride on one of tennis's grandest stages. Later, she shared its significance with her followers on social media, writing, "The Sampuida, the flower of my country, a reminder of where I come from and everything that brought me here." Nike's message extended beyond the gift itself. Every dream begins as a seed, the note continued. Kung may it may anahin. What you plant today, you will one day reap. A Filipina on the grass courts of history, not just playing for herself, but carrying a nation in full bloom. At the time, the words felt inspirational. Looking back now, they seemed almost prophetic. By 2026, as Eala's influence continued to grow and her achievements reached new heights, the symbolism had become even more meaningful. What started as a simple gesture had evolved into a narrative that connected her journey, her heritage, and the millions of people who saw themselves reflected in her success. The bloom that Nike spoke of at Wimbledon was no longer a promise of the future. It was happening in real time. And if the events of the past year had proven anything, it was that the story was still only beginning. February 2026 marked another significant milestone in Alex Eala's growing partnership with Nike. During a visit to Nike World Headquarters in Oregon, she received a welcome reserved for the brand's most celebrated athletes. As she walked through the company's legendary athlete tunnel, a hallway showcasing some of the greatest names in sports history, she was greeted by a series of newly installed portraits documenting her remarkable journey. One image carried the caption, "History in Full Bloom." It captured the raw emotion of Eala's breakthrough run to the Miami Open semifinals, showing tears of disbelief and joy after one of the biggest achievements of her career. Another featured a selfie she had taken with a sea of Filipino fans, highlighting the passionate support that followed her from tournament to tournament around the world. The photographs told the story of a young athlete whose influence had expanded far beyond tennis results. Standing beneath her own portrait, smiling and flashing a peace sign, Eala represented a remarkable transformation. From a young girl practicing on modest courts in the Philippines to an athlete whose image now stood alongside some of the most iconic figures in global sports.